But so what they are saying is essentially like, hey, Donald Trump promised to build this wall, and he didn't. He didn't get that done. And he did say, I mean, he didn't say Mexico was going to build the wall, as was said there. He said that we were going to build the wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. I don't think, I certainly never took that to literally mean that Mexico was going to say, okay, what did that wall cost? We'll write you a check for that. I think he was saying that like one way or the other, like they'll end up bearing the costs of this. Probably some silly economic plan of tariffs or something like that. But I do think it's a fair criticism of Donald Trump, and one that we've leveled at him several times, that he didn't keep a lot of his campaign promises. A lot of that is because he appointed the worst possible people in order to do that. But so, okay, so fair enough. Donald Trump was elected to build a wall. He promised to build a wall. We didn't get that. I mean, I guess we got some wall, which he brags about now. Like he brags about the amount of wall that was up. But I don't know. I was paying pretty close attention in 2016, and I don't remember him promising some wall. Right. So while that may be true, why is this such a loser for Democrats? And I love how this entire other half of the conversation never even comes up. And then somehow it reminds me of when the Biden administration was saying, they had Career Jean-Pierre saying that no school closures happened under Biden. They all happened under Trump. And like, okay, but it is, there are few impossible feats in politics, but one of them has got to be that it's like, look, you can't criticize Donald Trump from the right now. Like, you can't be there and say, oh, well, there were school closures under Donald Trump. It's like, okay, we can criticize him for that. But you guys were criticizing him at the time for not having more. So you can't go back and say that, like, that's just too out there, even for the American people who can be fooled by quite a lot. But so what they're leaving out there is that it's almost as if we're just here to conclude that, oh yeah, we've all accepted that building a wall is a good policy and that's what we should be doing. But here's what I'm going to criticize Donald Trump for. He said he was going to do it and then never did it. You're like, wait a minute. In order to make this criticism, you would first at least have to have a moment where you go, oh yeah, and by the way, he was right on his central campaign issue, which was our, at least publicly stated, central beef with the guy, the thing that we demonized him as a Nazi for. I'm now criticizing him for not following through on that. This would be like if you were like criticizing in some alternative universe Adolf Hitler for never following through on the Holocaust. I mean, he ran on the Holocaust and said it wouldn't cost us nothing, and he never ended up doing it. It's like, wait a minute, how did you race over here to this side of him? He was like how, Rob, I mean, this is why I say there are some tasks in politics that are just impossible. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be impossible for the Democrats to race over, yada away he was right about the biggest thing and we were wrong about that, and then just criticize him for not getting it done. And look, Joe Biden is really serious about doing something about this after the problem's been made so much worse than it ever was, and coincidentally in an election year with the backdrop of even Democratic mayors of sanctuary cities saying this is destroying our city, that we're just going to yada all the like he was right, we were wrong, and just move over here to the right of Donald Trump, and we're the real border hawks, and look, he didn't keep his promise. This is just, and essentially, and then the conclusion is, and Donald Trump's voters are so stupid for voting for him for this promise that he didn't keep.